Now we have already seen this part. Now we'll start with the PHP part. All right. So we have already seen the web server. First and foremost, we have to install the PHP interpreter. PHP is a scripting language. All right. So it will of course have an interpreter. To download the PHP interpreter, go to php.net. php.net. In the php.net website, you will have an option called downloads. Click on the downloads button. When you click on the downloads button, you go down and you see there is a current stable release PHP 8.1.3. Under that, on the fourth bullet point, you see Windows downloads. A section, a hyperlink is there with written Windows downloads. Click on that link. After you click on that link, you will be taken to the PHP downloads page for Windows. Now there are two versions of this interpreter. One is thread safe version and one is non-thread safe version. This non-thread safe version is for IIS web servers. We are not using IIS web server, remember. We are using the Apache web server. For Apache web server, you will always use the thread safe version. Alright. The thread safe version is the second one in the list. Apache web server thread safe. Now you will download this zip file. You have a link called zip. You click on this and after that download will be started. So you will save it at php.8.1.3. This is the file name. You will save this zip file. After saving this zip file, you will have this zip file in the resources folder as well. I have downloaded it and I have kept it here. PHP 8.1.3, this is the thread safe version. All right, make sure you download the thread safe version. After downloading the thread safe version, you will extract these files. You go to resources, you will right click on that zip folder and extract all. I'll extract it in place. After extracting you will have a folder called PHP 8.1.3 win32. The name would be same as that of the zip file. The name will be same as that of the zip file. Go to that PHP folder and you will see bunch of files over here. All right, let's go back. You will take this PHP 8.1.3, this folder. I'll just rename it to just PHP. All right, it makes more sense, right? I'll just rename it. I'll just say PHP. Hit enter. I have renamed it to just PHP. So I'll take this file, I'll copy or cut it, and I'll paste it inside the C drive. Now we have pasted the PHP folder in the C drive. Now in the PHP directory there are files. All right, what type of files is it? Let's explore. All right, so in the PHP directory you will have one file, an application called PHP. This is a command line application. This is the PHP interpreter that will interpret your PHP code. Excuse me. And you will also have a file called php.ini-development. All right, now you have to rename this file. All right, you have to rename this file and we'll call it php.ini only. You have to change the extension php.ini. If when you go to rename, if you try to rename this file, you will be prompted with a dialog saying if you change a file name extension, the file might become unusable. Are you sure you want to change it? We know what we are doing. All right, so we will change the file extension. Though it the like the computer is thinking that if we change the file extension it might be unusable, but the computers are dumb actually. They don't understand, we understand. We'll just tap on yes. We have renamed the file. Now the php.ini file is the PHP configuration file. Remember we use the Apache configuration file httpd.conf. Similar to that we have a configuration file for PHP as well, and we will make changes to PHP configuration file as well, but not right now. Later when we will use PHP extensively, we will tweak PHP as per our requirements. All right, so right now we have this php.ini configuration file. This is our PHP application, and one more file that we are interested in is a file called php8 apache 2-4.dll. Now this file is a binary file, and this file is a very important file that we will be using it to link our Apache web server with PHP. Now this module, this is a module for the Apache web server. All right. So so we'll note down the location of this. Right. We will, what we'll do is we will right click, and you will have this type of option. Click on properties. After you click on properties, you will have the entire path to this. It is simply c.php, right? You copy the file name, that is php8 apache 2 underscore 4.dll. Copy it, and then you go to the Apache configuration file. Since we will link it with the Apache web server, go to Apache. Under conf directory, there is a httpd.conf file that you used earlier, right? You open it with your favorite text editor or maybe a simple notepad. It might prompt you with message something like this. I'll just say, now here go to the end of this file, go to the end, at the very end, at the last. All right, going to the end, you have to load this module. We'll say load module. We'll say what type of module it is a PHP module, so we'll say PHP underscore module. I don't remember or not, PHP module, and then the location to the PHP module, right? It is under C drive PHP folder. And what was the name of the file? I just copied it. Maybe I copied the name of the file. Let me see if I copied it or not. Yes, I copied it. So the name of the file is php8 apache 2 underscore 4.dll. After doing this, we have to also say, we have to also notify the Apache server that if any file has an extension with a .php, that means that file needs further processing by an application server by our PHP. All right. So what we'll do is we'll say if module, we'll say PHP module, and then we'll close it. If module, if module. So we, inside the if module, what we'll say is if the PHP directory index. All right, if the PHP module is loaded, this means if the if module PHP module is loaded, then what we'll do is we'll define the directory index as any the directory index from will become index.php. And you can also provide another directory index name. In case index.php is not present, then you can say that you load please default.php. I can also say bj.php. You name your file bj.php, and then I'll also say index.html. Done doing this, and now you have to also say that any file extension that ends with .php extension, then please give that file to the PHP interpreter. The PHP interpreter will process that file, and you take the output from the PHP interpreter and then give it to the user, right? So you have to say that, and for that it would be better if you copy it from the snippets. All right, otherwise you may make mistakes, or maybe I may also make mistakes. Go to snippets, and here you see we have already loaded the module, right? We have already specified the if, and we have already specified the directory index. Now we will add a handler for all the files that extends with a .php extension. So we'll copy this line, add handler application x in this, and we'll go to notepad. Sorry, not notepad, we opened it in Visual Studio Code, paste it. You may also choose to type it, but just in case. So we are essentially doing is we are first loading the PHP module by using the load module keyword. Load module, we'll call this module the PHP module. And I already showed you that the binary file which is important for linking the PHP module with the Apache web server, the file name was php8 apache 2 underscore 4.dll, and it is present inside the C drive slash php folder, right? We specified the full path to that file. Now after specifying the full path, we are saying if the php module was loaded successfully, then we will say the directory index, make the directory index as index.php. Like, if, what do I mean by directory index? If like someone goes to our website, our site, and if he or she does not request for any file, then what file should be loaded first? So the first preference that I'm giving to is the index.php file. If the index.php file is present, load that file. If the index.php file is not present, then please load the default.php file if present. If default.php file is not present, then load bj.php file if present. If bj.php file is not present, then look for index.html file. If index.html file is present, then please load that file. All right. We said that if the user goes to our home page, then that is the site, then what file should be loaded? And we are saying first look for index.php file in the folder. If it is present, serve that file. If it is not present, look for default.php file. Is it present? If it is not present, then go for bj.php file. If the bj.php file is present, then serve that file. If it is not present, then look for index.html file. If the index.html file is not present, then then what will happen, we'll see it in a moment. All right. After providing the directory index, we'll add a handler. What this handler does is, it if any file that a user requests is ending with a .php extension, then we are saying that please give that file to the PHP interpreter. The PHP interpreter will process that file and give you an output. You take that output and send it to the user. So we'll delegate the processing, we'll delegate the responsibility of processing that file to the PHP interpreter that we just installed. After doing this, we'll save it. After saving, we have to restart our server. All right. My server is stopped maybe. So I'll start the server. I'll say net start Apache 2.4. The Apache 2.4 service is starting. The Apache 2.4 service was started successfully. Now, to test whether the PHP was installed successfully or not, do one thing: create a PHP file. Uh, you name it whatever you want. I'll call it foo.php. Um, and you every PHP file opens with a PHP tag. Now the PHP tag is something like this: you open angle bracket and then provide a question mark and type PHP. And every PHP, since you opened a tag, it also has a closing tag. The closing tag is question mark and a closing angle bracket, and whatever you specify inside these two tags is your PHP code. All right, this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag, and whatever you specify inside this is your PHP code. Now to test whether the PHP is working or not, call the function phpinfo. Call the function php info. Now when you call this function, PHP file will generate a output showing all the configuration details of the PHP that you installed. All right, so we'll save this file. After saving this file, make sure you have restarted your server after making configuration changes. After making configuration changes, and let's go to the web browser. Now, web browser will go to localhost. Now what was the name of our file? That was foo.php, right? Foo.php. Hit enter, and you will have an output stating the PHP version. This page is outputted given this page is being given by the PHP info function. You call the PHP info function, it generated the HTML output. All right, the HTML output is displayed on the page, and this specifies all the details about your current PHP installation, like the date. All right, configure command, there are many options, like it runs on the Zend engine, and we will explore all of these. All right, most of these which are very important. It is not possible to go through all of this, but ones which are very important, like output buffering, how to handle when someone uploads an image or a video on the server, how much how we can set the limit, how much each and every file will be of how much kilobytes or megabytes. We can do all of this using the PHP configuration file, and this is being loaded. All right. If you see this file, the PHP installation was successful. So you got